There are two kinds of teachers. The kinds that fill you with so much quail shot that you can't move, and the kind that just give you a little prod from behind and you jump to the skies. That's from Robert Frost, and today we are here to honor your teachers. And you know that the best of us teachers and the best of what we do is just give you that little push so you can go off and do all the great things that you're destined to do. You just don't know it yet.
Hi, I'm here to talk about new teacher number 2. At least that's what my future fellow advisors and I knew him by when we were assigned to his homeroom at the end of freshman year. Little did we know how important of a role Mr. A. Wesley Ballantyne would play in our high school careers. For our first advisory meeting, Mr. Valentine walked in with a heaping plate of lemon, blueberry, chocolate chip muffins, but for some still unclear reason, not one of us took a single bite of his muffins. I'm sure they're really good muffins, Mr. B, but I guess we'll never know. What I do know is that he knows about every single band that has ever existed. He knows just a little too many historical facts, and he knows how to give the perfect high fives. In other words, he's a brutal genius. Mr. Valentine is one of those rare people who has a real passion and love for what they do. I'm sad to see him go, but I find happiness in the fact that he will continue to inspire and help others like he has here at SSA for me and the rest of his students, his dormers, and his golf and hockey boys. Mr. Valentine, something I want you to know before you leave is how grateful I am for everything you have done for me, everything from teaching me how to observe and reflect carefully in history class, to pretending you aren't busy when I'm bored and just want to chat during our freeze. We are also grateful for everything you have done for us, and we thank you from the bottoms of our hearts for joining our community for the past 2 years. Will, Armand, Eric, Blake, the other Will, John, Tripp, and I all know how lucky we are to have chosen new teacher number 2. We're crazy sad to see you go, but we can't wait for you to start this new chapter in your life. Don't forget to visit us when you can, and don't you dare miss our graduation.
Emily Schaknowski. We both shared the 4 years here at Shadyside Senior School. We've had a lot of fun, success, and from what I have heard, before you came, the SSA lacrosse program was not very successful. Competitive. And look how far we've come. In 2012, we went 12-3 and went to the playoffs. In 2013, we went to the Whitfield Championships and lost, but we went to states. In 2014, we went to the playoffs as well. And this year, we went to the playoffs. And tonight, we have a chance to go to states once again. So thank you so much for all your hard work, all your help. Good luck on your future adventures, and congrats on your engagement.
I only became one of Miss Skinner's advisees this year, but it feels as if we have been together since my freshman year. She treats us all as one of her own and shows true compassion. Although our relationship may have started a bit rocky due to many comments on my weekend outfits and the occasional one butt per chair, I can genuinely say I have grown to have tremendous respect for her. She is a straight-to-the-point person, but I know she means it in the best way. I may not have always been the best at attending my cycle meetings, but she never failed to grab me out of the student center and make sure I was doing well. When she asks me questions, I truly feel as if she wants to know my answers.
No matter how frazzled I felt in any of my advisory meetings, Mrs. Skinner never failed to calm me down. With countless deadlines in the past month, as well as the stress of junior year, she made sure that I was on top of them and getting everything done. Even with her busy schedule between teaching and her role as the Dean of Students, Mrs. Skinner would go out of her way to check on each of her advisees. Thank you for everything, Mrs. Skinner. Best of luck to you in whatever the future brings. I know I can speak for the entire Shadyside Academy community when I say we'll miss you.
I thought I knew all I needed to know about math, music, football, and poker until Rick Toney came to Shadyside in the fall of 1997. Mr. Toney loves math and loves teaching math, and he will teach it to anybody. He joined our department immediately engaging us in discussions about convergence, probability, game theory, fractals, and frankly, I understood very little of it. I tried to keep up, but quickly realized I was in way over my head. Succinctly put, Mr. Tony is a gifted math teacher whose interest and passion for math has enlivened his classroom and our department for 18 years. He inspired us in many ways to take risks, individually and as a group, but his most tangible legacy is our Math 1 and Math 2 program. The department's frustration over using the same inadequate Algebra 2 book for 20 years led us to pursue other options, and our Math 1 and 2 program was born. Mr. Tony facilitated our partnership with other schools so that we could be the best teachers, problem solvers, and thinkers that we could be. He spent his free time reading articles about the theory behind our curricular change, always looking for new ideas, often leaving copies of those articles on our desks after school for us to find the next morning. This is the third school I've taught at, and the reason I haven't left is simple. I promised myself I would stay at a school whose teachers love teaching as much as I do, and the teachers are better at it than I am. Mr. Tony, ever the mentor, leading our department in Shadyside by example, patient and kind, thoughtful, sensitive, and supportive. We will miss you. We'll miss your passion for math, your Steeler ties, fish music in the office, your announcement at assemblies that make famous mathematicians come to life. Above all, we'll miss your friendship and your kindness. Hard to replace, never forgotten, happy trails in the city of brotherly love.
You'll see at graduation in a little while, if you haven't noticed before, that when the faculty process in, we go in rough order of seniority. We'll be led by Ms. Irvine this year. And when I first got here, I was at the back of the line, and I had a partner, and that was Ms. Williams. She had been hired a few months earlier than I was, as she sometimes reminds me, so she should be allowed to walk just a half step or so in front of me. But she's always gracious enough to take my arm, and we walk together as a pair. And this will be the last time that we get to do that. I had this vision of the line growing longer behind us and shorter in front of us until at the end of it, we'd be at the front with matching walkers or something. Right? As it is, I guess I'll just have to use a walker for one. But I think it's probably because she's been with me since the very beginning that, like so many of you, I have a hard time imagining a Shadyside Academy Senior School without Ms. Williams. Of course, the first place I think about is the library, which is a place not just for people to go and study and learn from the newest books and some of the oldest and new technologies and databases, but to celebrate ideas, to celebrate learning, to celebrate all of the wonderful differences that we bring to this place and make it the tapestry that it increasingly is. And that really starts with Ms. Williams. She's been herself, and she has been a model for the rest of us. She's accepted us for who we are and helped us get to be a better version of that person. And I know that I'm going to feel your absence, Reed, but I think more than that, when I look at the community that we're becoming, one that's open and broad and open-hearted and accepting, inquisitive, always searching, always trying, and always feeling the joy in learning and in each other's company and presence, far more than I'll feel your absence, Reed. I'll feel your presence. For me, and I think for so many of us, you'll always be part of this place. I love you, Reed. Have a wonderful retirement.
Passionate and kind, amiable and generous,
warm-hearted and sincere.
These are just a few words that describe Miss Greene. During her time at SSA, she has strongly influenced our lives as well as those and many other students and faculty around her. Her strong stance on social issues and determination for social justice is one that has motivated many to be just as passionate if not more, about those same issues. Her giving time to serve as a faculty advisor for BSU and teaching classes such as world religions and modern social justice has facilitated a grounds by which students can discuss many pressing problems in the world today. She has encouraged students to push for integrity, not just on a grand scale, but in our small community as well.
Mrs. Greene has created strong-minded but sympathetic leaders who will forever be grateful for her role in their lives. Her presence in the community, not only as a teacher but as a friend to all of her students, is one that will be remembered and treasured in our hearts for many years.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you, Ms. Greene.
Love you, girl.
When I came, sorry, I'll get myself together. In January of 1991, she was the chair of the English department, and she advised the senior class, and she was so well respected that at the end of that year, she was asked to be the interim head of the school, and then she continued on in that position for 8 years. Because she did, rather than leaving at the end of that year, I slipped in and became Dr. Sarah Eldridge. Very big shoes to fill. I went to school for many years, I worked with many teachers, and as all of you know in the English department, I work with some really amazing teachers. But Dr. Eldridge is the greatest writing teacher I have ever met. And the reason she is such a great writing teacher is that because she looks at every student she has, and she recognizes the writer in you. She believes that in you you have a voice, and if you're just given the opportunity to find that voice and to put that voice down on the page, that you can do it, that you are a writer. And so she took many students who really did not think of themselves as writers, and she gave them a power they did not have before. And so we will miss her a great deal. She has retired, and sadly she won't be here today. She's out on the Cape with her husband. I hope it's warmer there than it is here. But she misses you all greatly, and she said to please give you her love. And I'd like you, when you see something beautiful out there in the world, Dr. Eldridge is an artist at heart, and she sees the beauty in the world and the beauty in you. And when you see something small but beautiful, think of her, because she is in that piece of beauty. Thank you.
When Jackson came to ask me to speak on behalf of Angela Irvine, I immediately said yes. I love Angela. She's been an enormous part of my life. And then I was terrified, because how do you speak about Angela? She's been with us for 43 years. She's our history. And then I thought about all of you and know that you will be giving her your own personal tributes over the next few weeks. And that gave me some confidence that I could just focus on a small piece of what has made Angela special to me. About when Angela started at Shady Side, so did we begin our transition to coeducation. I was not the first of the Shady ladies. That would be in 1973. But my class in 1979 had only 17 girls. Shady Side was a very different school back then, and in many ways, Angela was our voice. She watched out for us. Her room was a safe haven for us. And I am sure that Angela had something to do with suggesting that the school replace the shower curtains that acted very poorly as doors to bathroom stalls. After 90 years of being all boys, some things needed to change. Angela was my 10th grade English teacher. There were 3 Katies in that class. She was the teacher who introduced me and so many of you to contemporary drama, to modern American short story, which still impacts my life today, so thank you. She made us laugh with her wonderful Southern wit. She made us feel that we all had something smart to contribute, even when we were struggling with waiting for Godot. I've had 20 years working here of lunching with you, Angela. Discussions about books, about life, about the dress code. One of my all-time favorite quotes is, "I could teach children in a bikini thong." So while my remarks are brief, because I am very nervous speaking to you, Angela, today, When I am asked who my favorite teacher at Shady Side Academy is, and I am asked this quite a bit, I've also been around a while, Angela, you are it. And you are not just it for here, but for my college, for my graduate school. You are my all-time favorite teacher. And I want, on behalf of all of us, to thank you for everything for 43 years, for being our history, for paving the way.